Hey everyone, before we get into the story, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these real-life betrayal stories. And I want to hear from you in the comments. What would you do if you were in my shoes? It all began with what I thought was harmless. A night out with my wife and a few friends at a local club. I trusted her completely. Never imagined the storm that was about to hit. I remember the moment vividly. The dim lights, the music pulsing to the floor, the faint smell of alcohol and perfume. I was talking to a friend when I noticed her laughing across the room. She was sitting on a man's knee, a man I barely knew. At first, I told myself it was innocent. Maybe they were joking, playing around. It didn't feel like anything more than a silly, harmless gesture. But something about her eyes that night didn't feel innocent. There was a spark in them, the kind you don't see in casual fun. It lingered when she looked at him, and then she leaned closer than necessary. My chest tightened. I swallowed hard, trying to convince myself I was overreacting. In the following days, I started noticing subtle signs that gnawed at me. Missed calls when she promised she'd be home. Quick glances at her phone that she hid when I entered the room. Excuses that seemed flimsy but polite. I questioned myself constantly. Was I being paranoid, insecure, or was there really something I couldn't see? The breaking point came unexpectedly. I had gone to charge my phone in the living room and noticed hers buzzing on the couch. Out of curiosity, and I regret it forever, I glanced at the message preview. Can't wait to see you again. Tonight was perfect. My stomach dropped. My wife and the man she'd invited to the club were messaging privately, something I had never imagined. My hands shook. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Memories of the night replayed with new, horrifying lens. The way she laughed, the way she leaned into him. Every touch that felt casual suddenly felt deliberate. I wanted to confront her, but I hesitated. My mind spun in circles. Part of me wanted to understand her perspective. Part of me wanted to run, to escape the heartbreak that was seeping through every thought. I remembered the small moments we'd shared that now felt like lies. The quiet dinners, the mornings she kissed me awake, the smiles we exchanged while cooking together. Were they all staged? Or had I simply been blind? When I finally spoke to her about it, I tried to remain calm, though my voice betrayed me. I saw the messages. I said, "And the way you were with him at the club, what does this mean?" She hesitated, staring at me with wide eyes. It wasn't supposed to happen," she whispered. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought it was just harmless, just fun. But I crossed a line." Her confession hit me like a punch, not because it was cinematic or loud, but because it was quiet, insidious, the kind of betrayal that seeps into your bones without a moment of notice. I felt anger, heartbreak, and a profound sadness all at once. How could someone you loved, someone you trusted with your life, blur the line between harmless fun and something that destroyed the foundation of your relationship? In the following weeks, I struggled with memories. Every laugh, every touch, every "I love you" now felt suspect. I replayed that night at the club endlessly. The way her body leaned into his, the ease with which she smiled at him, the whispered jokes that weren't meant for me. Even the mundane moments, the quiet days at home, began to feel like a carefully constructed illusion. I faced a choice: confront her completely, walk away in silence, or try to rebuild something that may have been irreparably broken. The emotional toll was staggering. Sleep eluded me. Meals felt hollow, and even familiar places felt like traps filled with echoes of what had happened. The turning point came one evening when we sat down together. I looked her in the eye and said, "I need the truth. No more excuses, no more hiding." She finally opened up fully. "I was lonely," she admitted. "I didn't feel seen, and he made me feel noticed. I didn't think, I just acted. I never wanted to destroy us, but I know I did." In that moment, I saw her as human, not villain, not monster. I saw someone flawed, someone who had made terrible choices, but also someone who felt remorse. It didn't erase the pain, but it helped me understand. I made a choice too. I chose to step back, to reclaim my life, not in anger, not in vengeance, but in quiet resolve. I spent nights alone, reflecting on who I was, what I deserved, and the kind of love that should never compromise your self-respect. The process has been slow, painful, but necessary. I've realized that trust, once broken, cannot simply be patched. It must be rebuilt, or a new life must begin. And I chose the latter. I'm learning to find peace in solitude, to reclaim my sense of self, and to live without the constant shadow of betrayal. That night at the club, the laughter, the music, the careless touch, they are all burned into my memory. But now, instead of feeling despair, they remind me of my resilience. They remind me that heartbreak can be survived, that trust, once broken, can lead to self-discovery, and that life can continue even when love fails. If you've ever faced betrayal or wondered what you'd do in a situation like mine, share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear how you'd react, what you feel. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where love, heartbreak, and human complexity collide in ways we never expect.